everyone, happy holidays. Today I'm going to show you guys how to flip a piece of furniture for all those unexpected holiday guests that you get during Christmas time. And so I was able to go to Restore Habitat, a local store here in town, and pick up 2 matching nightstands. And so I'm going to show you guys how to quickly flip a piece to get your guest room ready for unexpected guests. First, I'm going to start by removing all the hardware and then cleaning the nightstand. To clean this piece, I'm going to use the Lysol all-purpose cleaner and just give this a good scrub down because God knows where this thing is been. See, you can already see it's got a bunch of gunk on it. So my piece is all cleaned, the knobs are off, and now we're going to get to painting this. And you're thinking, well, how is that a quick DIY trick? Well, let me show you. We're not painting with paint today. We are painting with Retique liquid wood. And I am going to take this nightstand, which is that orangey kind of 80s stain look, and get rid of it. And I'm going to modernize this by making it a dark brown wood. And yes, I could sand this and I could restain it, but that would take way more time than 24 hours. So we're going to do this the quick, cheap, easy way. And this comes in a light wood color, a bleached wood, and a dark wood. And so I am going to go with the dark wood version of this because I want these to be a little bit more modern and moody looking. So I'm going to choose the dark wood. And I'm just going to apply it with a cheap chip brush. And yes, you can use a synthetic brush too. That's totally fine. But the look that I'm trying to go for today is where I'm still seeing this undercoat because I want a variation of the wood tone and I don't want it just one solid brown color. I kind of want this to peek through so it kind of gives it that real wood look. I've done absolutely nothing. I've cleaned it and I've lightly scuffed this down with sandpaper so that it has something to adhere to, and we're just going to go from there. And make sure that when you're using the Retique wood that you give it a good stir so that way all the little wood particles that you find in this are all mixed in. And we are just going to paint it on like this. Easy peasy. And the trick to making this a 24-hour project is because this is a water base, I am going to use a water-based stain by General Finishes. That way I can get this painted, dried, applied with stain, and hopefully a clear coat by the end of the day. Okay, so you definitely do not need to be a skilled painter to do this at all. This is so easy. It's literally just moving your paintbrush back and forth. And it's okay if it looks not like you have covered enough, because if you want a solid finish, you can definitely do a second coat, which is what I think I might do, but I want to get these striations. You see how it's like pulling away from the undercoat? And make sure that your lines are at least somewhat straight so it doesn't look like a wonky piece of wood. And I don't know, maybe I won't do a second coat, but we will see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. And I've got my elk pants on today, so I am ready to rumble. Okay, so a good rule of thumb when painting with the liquid wood is to try to go with the grain. So that way you get a more realistic wood piece rather than if you had gone against the grain. So hopefully that little tip helps you guys. Okay, so I know I said that you're going to use this cheap chip brush. But if you can also find a little one just for areas where you have tiny detail, that way your lines look somewhat straight and not messy and all clumpy. So you can just run your little brush over the areas. Make sure you go with the grain. So this makes it a lot easier to get in and make those nice little lines on your detailed areas. On the last part of this nightstand, and the cool thing about this product is that it dries pretty much by the time you've gotten to the last part on your piece. And so at this point, you can leave it as is, wait an hour or two and clear coat it, or wait an hour and put a second coat on it, or wait an hour, take yourself to lunch, and then come back and stain it. So it's all depending on the look that you want for your piece of furniture. So here is the old nightstand. And now this is the new. So it's totally taken on a whole new look as it is. Let's see. And the neat thing about this paint is that it has wood fibers in it. So you're getting kind of like a textured paint when you apply this on. And so you could literally just leave it as this color. Or, like I said, I'm going to stain mine. So now we're ready to stain these nightstands. And what I've done is I've only done one coat of the liquid wood on top because I like that peekaboo. And so I've already done a test spot here and I like the color. So I'm going to move forward with my general finishes water base so that I can get this done quicker. And if you were to say use a oil base, you would just need to wait 2 days before you top coat it. And you can use lint-free shop towel, you can use a brush, you can use a sponge, you could use a sock, you can use whatever. I would just wipe it over this. And you want to go in the direction of the grain. Okay, so see how that undercoat is being picked up in the stain? That way it gives a more realistic look. So I've got the drawer left to finish. As you can see, I have stained this entire nightstand. I'm not really liking the color. I want it a little deeper. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wait for this to dry and then I'm going to put a second coat. But instead of using the same color, I'm going to use Kona over the top to darken this because I like this variation that I've got going on. I just want to tone it to a deeper base. And once that's done, then I can clear coat it, put on the knobs, and then I'm done. So easy. Now I'm going to do the second coat and I'm going to use Kona. And for this, I'm going to take a cheap chip brush and just run it over the top in the direction of the grain. And once I get this all laid out, then I'm going to take a dry chip brush and just kind of feather this out and kind of drag some of the stain off so it's not so heavy on the piece. But when you guys are doing this, you don't have to do it this way. You could literally just take a shop towel and do just like how you did the first coat if you were going to do a second coat or even a different color on it. Okay, so here's the bottom, and that's the first coat, and that's how we started. And I could totally leave it like this, but I went darker. And so this is what the top looks like. This is definitely different than where we originally started. I absolutely love this product for all my quick flips. So now is time to finally do a clear coat on this 24-hour nightstand flip. So that's what it looked like before. And this is what it looks like now. So you can either seal it with a spray version of a top coat. This one is a polyurethane and satin finish. I normally do this But on this piece, I'm going to wax it. That's another way that you guys can seal your piece is by using wax. And the wax that I'm going to be using today is the Annie Salone black wax. And that's how I'm going to seal this piece. And only because I want it slightly darker, which, here, let me tilt that. See, now I've got some black grain within that textured paint job. So that's it without the black wax. And that is with it with black wax. So I'm just toning it down a bit. So if you're interested in using a wax, all you do is dab it into the wax and run it back and forth along with the grain. And then we'll take a shop cloth and we will just buff off the extra wax that is sitting on top after you've buffed it in with your paintbrush. And this is a wax paintbrush, which is a little different because of the tip and the fibers. So as you can see, so that's the black wax, and that is not been done. So now I'm getting more of a realistic kind of toned wood versus if I left it like this. Okay, so I've taken the old knobs, I've sanded them down, cleaned them, and now I'm gonna spray them with Rust-Oleum Flat Black, and then I'm gonna take Rub and Buff to give these a new finish. Give these a nice light coat. So now I'm going to use Annie Salone Rub and Buff in the color Copper. And I've already sprayed my knobs with a flat black Rust-Oleum spray paint. And so I've let those dry. And now I'm just going to take my old knobs and make them copper so that they can be on this nightstand. So all you do with this product, this stuff is great. Just put it on, rub it in, and you're getting a whole new look to a knob. See? Look at that. Pretty cool. Okay, so it's been 24 hours and I have turned that into this by simply using Retique liquid wood and some black wax and 2 colors of stain. Mind you, I used water-based products, so everything could be done within 24 hours. Let me know what you guys think.